bring on one of the nicest guys in the whole world. We're just going to sit and talk and find out all about him. Ladies and gentlemen, my pal, everybody's pal, Mr. John Wayne. Let's get it. Well, here we are, the high and the mighty. You didn't get that right off, did you, huh? Now, hey, tell him, Duke, tell him your real first name, the real first name.
It's, Marion.
Marion. Isn't that beautiful? Hey, did any of your school chums in school, did they ever call you that?
One did once. He'd have been 58 tomorrow.
58 tomorrow.
Listen, I saw that show last week with you and Frank Sinatra. That was pretty wild.
Yeah, well, we were lucky, too. With all that madness, we only had one casualty. The NBC Peacock slipped on an ice cube. That was the only thing.
Well, I was sailing over to Catalina. We watched your show on the Wild Goose.
I never rode a wild goose in my life.
Well, it's fun. You should try it.
Yeah?
It was on my boat. That's the name of it.
Oh, hey, I'm glad you watched the show, Duke.
Well, thank you. Everybody watched it. We had a school of fish looking in the porthole at it.
Well, that explains the pamphlet I got from a flounder. You know, I envy you, Duke, having a... You got to get these faster. Because these are funny. And I envy you, you know, having a big boat and a house by the ocean.
Well, we could be neighbors, Dean, if you'd move down there. There's plenty of houses for sale up on the cliffs with the ocean below.
That's just what I've always dreamed of. A house on the rocks with a little water on the side. Oh.
Well, that's exactly what I got. And every night I sit out on that patio and drink it in. The atmosphere.
Oh, the atmosphere. Oh.
Seriously, why don't you and Jeannie buy a house down at the beach?
My wife and I would love to, but we can't live near the water. Our Cocker Spaniel has sinus. You know, you've been making pictures about as long as I can remember.
I feel the same way.
Yeah.
The first film I ever made, I think, had the fingerprints of Thomas A. Edison.
Hey, how did you really get into pictures? Tell me the whole truth. How'd you get into pictures?
Well, I've read so many fan magazine stories about it, I hardly remember the truth. Actually, I was going to school at USC and working part-time at Fox Studios in the property department. I worked for about 3 years and finally made enough money to quit school.
Just when I get the whole family watching, you gotta admit you're a dropout, huh?
Well, one day I was crossing a set carrying a table over my head and...
You were carrying a table over your head?
Yeah.
I know the feeling. I had many a table over my head, and I wasn't carrying them.
Well, I've been under a few myself.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, Raoul Walsh stopped me and said, I want to see you in the morning. Don't cut your hair.
Did you know then that he was a big director?
No, I thought he was a barber. Well, anyway, the next day he took a test of me, and so for 35 years I've been making pictures.
You know, one of the biggest kicks of my life was our first picture together.
Yeah, real bravo.
Oh, yeah.
He played the part of a drunken sheriff who had lost his nerve. Mm-hmm. And during the picture, I rehabilitated him.
Mm-hmm. And I'll never forgive you for that, either. Duke, you sure have done a lot of fight scenes in pictures.
Yeah, I've done thousands, but back in the early days, I wasn't known just as a fighter and a gunslinger. I was once known as Singing Sandy.
Singing cowboy?
Well, it was back in the 30s, and I was playing a cowboy, and the director thought it might be a good idea if every time I got mad, I start to hum.
Sounds like a natural.
Yeah, hum along Wayne. Well, it caught on, and the next picture I did 4 songs and played a guitar.
So you were the first singing cowboy, huh?
Well, I'll have to confess there was 3 of us. There was me, there was a fella that dubbed my voice, and there was a fella playing the guitar. I was really a trio.
You mean it was somebody else's voice and you never sang at all?
Only once, when they wanted to stampede the cattle.
Oh.
Well, anyway, these pictures gave Hollywood the idea for a singing cowboy, and that's when Gene Autry got started.
Gene Autry?
Yeah.
Too bad you 2 guys couldn't have made a picture together. Hey, how about them rough-riding cowboys, Marion and Gene? Hey, let's you and I do a song together now.
I just explained to you, Dean, that I cannot sing.
Well, you can hum. I'll tell you what, I'll get something going, and you just hum along. We'll share the action.
Okay.
Oh, give me land, lots of land under starry skies above. Let me ride through the wide open country that I love. Let me be by myself in the evening breeze. Listen to the murmur of the cottonwood trees. Send me off forever, but I ask you please. Just turn me loose, let me straddle my old saddle underneath the western sky. On my cayuse, let me wander over yonder till I see the mountains rise. Don't overdo it. The west commences. Gaze at the moon till I lose my senses. Can't look at hovels and I can't stand fancies.